Okay, so matreiuss didn't exactly like that all his suits were forward. Yeah, well, they often are. Usually you are having like at least one beyond yourself and behind yourself. Otherwise, of course, there are huge wood lines on the sides of the map if you want to be coming for them. Frozen Wastes, it's gonna be a whole lot different map with plenty of forest. Of course, the gold mines are going to be slightly trickier here. But I'm thinking that both of these teams are gonna be happy with this map as it's ready. And it might be allowing quite fun gameplay. As we're gonna be looking especially at matreiuss with the Poseidon yet again. Wouldn't be surprised all that much if he was going here again for what he did in the last game. The Centaur raiding with the Poseidon, certainly working quite well for him. And it did work nicely. To slow down Shelty, as right about now, let's check on the gold mines as they are usually kind of like the most important resource to be kind of keeping in mind how to protect it, and if it needs protecting for count from count, you definitely will be needing to somehow do something with it, probably drop a few houses. No, not entirely certain we can actually fit a temple even in here, but still, the raiding is definitely there, possible. All the way from the back, as right about now, matreiuss is kind of similar. He's having at least the tower right close by. There is a tower close by as well, but still, like kind of assault from the bottom could be maybe possible with a few turmas here and there, as they're gonna be facing plenty of those. So yeah, it's gonna be fairly similar, and kinda curious if he actually wants to be using a one storehouse for even the gold. If so, then he definitely could have placed the storehouse slightly better, a bit more to the right. It wouldn't be as efficient for the wood line, but it would be slightly more efficient for the gold. And considering that he's gonna be needing gold, because as a Poseidon, yeah, well, obviously, maybe could have been going a bit more to the north and like northwest in there with the storehouse, but yet again, not gonna be anything all that major, at least for the early stage of the game, unless there are gonna be a few more villages, and then he's probably gonna be having enough resources to be building it anew. All the way to the back, there's gonna be quite a nice gold for Domantas. That's one of the better ones that you could be getting. Closer to the TC, towers are there. There's a bit of wood line, so you can be producing quite easy like a temple beyond or a manor as well. And it's gonna be fairly simple and easy to defend, as the gold right about now at the back for back in action is also gonna be fairly safe, right next to the tower, quite far away from the ice, so therefore it's gonna be allowing plenty of buildings to be built right behind. So, kind of ironically slightly, the Atlanteans are gonna be having a bit easier gold to defend, even though they don't really need it all that much. As you already see plenty of gold mines at the top side, as it's gonna be pretty much the same case at the bottom. And there is also a relic for Ring of the Nibelung, 0.30 gold per second, which is, let's gonna do a bit of a math. That's 18 gold per minute. So in 10 minutes you're gonna be having 180 gold, and that's quite a solid upgrade right there. So yet again, it's pretty much same as the Ship of Fingernails, even though the trickle is really small. In about 10 minutes, since you're gonna be having it in the temple, you can be basically getting an upgrade for free. And it's certainly worth quite something. So tower range melee attack, that's gonna be potentially interesting for either player that's gonna be in a harder situation than the rest, as all the way to the bottom, interesting scouting by back in action, but he basically knew that there is quite a good chance that he's gonna be heading into and looking into at least a few goats to be discovered there in the corner. So it's gonna be his boon from that kind of gameplay, as we had about 3 minutes, so the temples are gonna be apparently already attempted. You can see that matreiuss is gonna be trying to protect the gold mine, even with the temple, gonna be continuing with a few houses all the way to the top here. It's gonna be taking like 2 to plug this hole all together, and he kind of needs to be doing it a bit more generously, closer to ice, because obviously turmas would be having quite an easy time otherwise shooting at it if their houses were kind of like hugging the gold mine. And he knows all of that, so he's gonna be doing exactly the correct thing that he should be, as there's another relic in the middle, Ship of Fingernails, as we're kind of talking about it. So if you're gonna be gathering both Ship of Fingernails and what's the other one called, Ring of the Nibelung, then you are just gonna be getting some free upgrades in time in the game. Definitely quite worth it, and not once to be left behind if you do have an option to be actually taking them for your own cause. So far there's absolutely no protection for count from count, as he's dropping temple fairly close by to the TC, and he's apparently going to be going for Forsetti. Not much of a surprise since he has switched from Thor to Loki for this game, and to the top we are gonna be expecting Hermes once this village is gonna be finished, seems like. Switching into the wood. Gonna be favor gathering with this one, or is this gonna be the last villager? Now the last villager is right now coming for... Has he forgotten to switch waypoint from Theseus? Where the hell is he having... I don't exactly see where is it having it. Is it now gonna be coming for the temple, or for the Theseus all the way... God damn it, relic all the way to the top? It almost seems to me that he actually legit forgot that he kept the gathering point all the way to the top. God damn it, if it's actually the case. Yeah, it is. That is a sad start right about now for Matreiuss. That should have been probably going somewhere back, but apparently he's right now not even gathering favor with even a lone villager. So far, I'm fairly curious what's going to happen, but it seems, as he's gathering plenty of woodline at this point, that he could be really going for centros yet again. But without the favor? No, well, not entirely certain what's going to happen with that. As we see, doesn't have the starting bonus for him. As already gonna be finishing with at least one of those walruses, gonna be having 2 more still, and plenty of goatees on top of everything in there. As all the way to the bottom, little Prometheans are already running around. With Count, we having a few Hercers, and of course the troll as well, to stop all of them. Don't exactly yet know what kind of track rating troll is having. That's gonna be in the next version of the tooltips, improved by Ippert. So far he's having it only for the normal units, but so far he's having right about now 1 temple and 1 longhouse, as longhouse is not producing anything so far. But yeah, well, of course, right now the temple is gonna be still continuing with the Hercers, and we're gonna be waiting what kind of army the opponents are gonna be doing. So far it seems 1 and 1 for counter barracks and military barracks for back in action, aka Shelty. Domantas is going to be having the same, so pretty much the same strategy. You can see trying to protect the woodies with quite interesting position of right about now the counter barracks in there. This is actually a really nice enclosure. Since he doesn't have to worry about forest fire, this is fairly clever. As his ally Shelty is gonna be doing a bit of a wall in here as well, as he does have right about now the manor, even the tower, so he does have plenty of options how to hide the villages, and of course this is gonna be making it harder to be approaching it altogether. And since his opponent is not gonna be having all that many shooting units, besides some potential few centers or whatever like that, which apparently is not all the case anymore at this point. You can see he has already switched even the villages from the woodline into the gold there. He's gonna be right now switching into basically pure stables, and it really seems to me that if that villager wasn't going mistakenly all the way to the top, he will be going for what he did in the last game. Looking at the wood villages there, especially, it was kind of looking likely, and going for at least a few centers at the start. At yeah, well, those mistakes definitely do not pay off and make you switch even into different strategy, because without the favor, yeah, obviously, it was just a whole lot of wasted resources for him. Okay, there's gonna be a bit of a right now Radiant in the middle, as Domantas doesn't have enough units for all of that, so Count is right to be continuing. Problem is that he has to be fighting right next to his base as well. As Benry coming for Domantas, I was potentially looking for maybe towers being researched for the blue player, but so far it doesn't seem to be having enough resources for that. And it's much more interested in, for example, right now Hall of Thanes, and even after continuing with all the Hercers. So right now he's hoping for some kind of mythical spawn, running away with the Hercers so he can be getting at least a few more extra hits into the opponent, but he's maybe gonna be getting housed. Yeah, he will. Well, this house is going to be down, so therefore no potential mythical spawns for him, and therefore these battles are not gonna be all that easy for him anymore. So yeah, he definitely will have to be retreating and waiting for his ally to be helping him ever so slightly, who is already in the medium Hippicons. Quite nice at 7 minutes and 30, and of course quite a nice number of those units is there already present. And so far the auto queue working rather nicely, and even putting a 3rd stable there, so he's having not only this kind of little department guarding all his base, but he's also having a bit more that he can be helping with to his teammate all the way to the bottom, exactly in time, as it seems they are gonna be converging on the Teal army and trying to block it off. But yeah, Teal kinda outmaneuver it, at least so ever so slightly, as right now he's still gonna be able to catch it. Fortunately not completely blocked, as he probably didn't have enough wood for a building all that much. Maybe he could have at least dropped the house in there for a moment, but still he didn't opt to do so. And right now they need to be disengaging, as right about now Green is not committing, and unfortunately Count did not notice it fast enough, and he's gonna be losing quite plenty of Hercers to pretty much nothing in there. So that wasn't all that great cooperation between the two players. All the way to top, that's gonna be the second flank of the units for Matreiuss right now, trying to push Domantas' army back, as he doesn't have all that many raiders, only at the backside, which is so far being guarded by Count fairly nicely. Fairly nicely indeed, and definitely could be using the towers right about now. And nope. Exclamation marks, pretty charged for Matreiuss for a bit of a speed. But imagine if he had the towers, like even to the top side, because he needs to be protecting even the berries all the way here. He would be having a much easier time defending, and maybe could be even sending a few units somewhere back into the top side, into the battlefield. And then, well, it's not really all that much of an easy task to be getting all that extra resources when you are under such attack and losing units, kind of like all the time, pretty much for him. Poor Oracle, not gonna be exactly coming into back into his base all that much. As he's not gonna be sending any kind of information either. But what is definitely right now true is matreiuss growing up in numbers, as apparently he has right now combined both of these armies. But also truth is that TCs are gonna be captured by the opponents. Domantas and back in action, aka Shelty, are both taken once, with a bit of a difference that right now Shelty is gonna be paying for that, it seems to me. As this should be right about now scouted, but unfortunately it probably doesn't seem that he's gonna be really completely denied, because matreiuss is not following through with him. He needs to be coming back in to deal with all that army that right now Count is at least trying to slow down, and he definitely needs to be doing that as well. Gold miners otherwise would be under pretty heavy threat, and that's not exactly what he wants at all. Bit of a tactical walling potentially for Count, so that this is not gonna be all that easily happening again, as the boar, well, rather bear, is apparently asking to be destroyed right here. And of course the TCs are gonna be finished, no problem. And there is maybe gonna be already a bit of a build up yet again, with even catapulties switching a bit more to the top side. It seems to me that he's heading for a bit of a scouting to basically see what the opponent is doing so far. But yeah, well, he's gonna be running out of right now food, and he's having already armory. Yeah, right now clicking into Aphrodite. It's gonna be actually a rather nice upgrade for him, to be honest. As the big battle is right now happening yet again. And green, he does have solid enough army at this point. And since these are medium hippicons, he really doesn't need to be worried about one-on-one combination of Murmilos and Turmas. But if somebody was going for a few more Murmilos, then it could be just becoming quite a little different. As only 10% melee armor is not exactly anything that you want to be having when you are fighting against Murmilos, with 34% and 8.8 attack on there. Okay, let's check the upgrades. Right now what's going on. If somebody else is coming into a heroic age, and it certainly is the reality, Domantas is gonna be following through after matreiuss. So both Uka players are gonna be advancing first, as copper shields are coming forward for at least some kind of defense against all the Turmas, because they seem to be slowly gaining in numbers, as opposed to the Murmilos, which is not really all that much of a surprise, and is rather expected, as the raiding is still continuing from Domantas. Didn't exactly find anything right about now, but a bit later he's gonna be having quite a solid chance, as this gold mine is gonna be the next one for matreiuss, and therefore will definitely need quite a lot of protection, as it's right now exactly scouted. And this poor dude, yeah, he's gonna be dead. All those spears into the back, that's not gonna be working for him that well, as Aphrodite is already in, right now followed by the Thea. And you're gonna be surprised by, I was just going to say that maybe you wouldn't be surprised by Shelty's advance, but so far he's not. He's going to be first curse being cast by matreiuss, and Count even advancing before him. And it seems like quite a solid one. About, how many? About like 8 piggies, with one of them already slaughtered in there. So 8 piggies, that's quite a solid curse. And gonna be helping defend all this position on the map. And unfortunately right about now for Domantas, he doesn't have enough units, but he is a bit too early. They were coordinating the attack, absolutely certain right about now with back in action. And unfortunately he went into the battle like about 5 seconds earlier, sorry, than he should have, and therefore it resulted into pretty much 2 1 versus 2s, and that is exactly playing into the cards of Count with matreiuss. And yeah, that's gonna be forcing this army to be retreating. And even though there are still reinforcements being sent in, with especially the Stimphalian, so therefore Hippolyta will be needing to make an appearance here. The TC is already finished for matreiuss in the front as well, and with the heroic age for Count, and Valor being cast by back in action, probably somewhere at the back here onto the army, with Hyperion being the god of choice for him. Well, you might be seeing a few satyrs here and there, and also a few usages of chaos, which let's see if they're gonna be used properly, because yesterday we didn't exactly see. I think it was yesterday, maybe it was also on Sunday. Right now kinda getting over each other, those 2 playing days might be not exactly one that the players are yet familiar 100% with how it should be properly cast. Okay, so right about now a bit of an attempt for TC by Count. It seems that he's taking the bit safer one, but still it's absolutely unsafe. Now with, oh well, I'm gonna wait now, interesting chaos. I'm gonna be sitting exactly the board and basically leaving. No. Don't go there. That's exactly what I was talking about. When you are casting the chaos in the middle of the enemy army, let the enemy army deal with it. And once the winner is done, then basically you are gonna be coming in and sweeping the rest. Basically be Cersei. Night King and Winterfell forces are gonna be fighting it out, and whoever remains, you are gonna be then destroying. That's basically the same strategy, and that's what you need to be doing with Chaos. So Chaos is actually, oh well, can be considered the god power of Cersei in there, even though you could be thinking that Littlefinger might be a bit more suited because of his saying. But yeah, well, yeah, gonna be right now having half a minute of kind of looking around the map. And still, not the front TC being even scouted by Domantas or Matreiuss. This is fairly interesting. Definitely would be liking if he maybe even moved the Oracle slightly south. He's right now trying to guard the gold mines, but yet again, it's quite unlikely that the green would be coming for this gold mine prior to this one. So it should be probably positioned here for a bit better vision. But anyway, probably is not going to be all that much of a problem as the TC is already finished. And therefore we're gonna be right now looking at plenty of Steam Embers and tons of heavy Murmillos already prepared in there. Doesn't have any kind of upgrades on top of that, but heavy beacons, that's definitely forced to be reckoned with copper mail on top of everything. And we are gonna be heading into quite a solid battle yet again with plenty of Turmas, which are not gonna be doing all that much here. Shockwave is gonna be definitely helping with the piggy flying face first into the snow, but especially I'm looking at the satyrs, and if you're gonna be seeing a few more of them, as they are quite powerful, as there is going to be also a bit of raiding all the way to the top, trying to destroy at least a few citizens. You can see that Domantas is slightly surprised by all of this, losing one, and basically like half of his economy is forced into not gathering at all, so fairly nice. No, well, this is kind of risky right now by Domantas, trying to basically still go outside, because he doesn't have any kind of defense here. You can see he's already preparing for Mythical Age right now, at least towers are being researched. Hecate on the way, as you have seen the market all the way to the top, but he did kill and disrupt the economy quite a bit for at least like 40 seconds. His opponent didn't do anything on the economical side with half of his units. And right now, well, this is gonna be a bit of a problem for Matreiuss, but he does have plenty of villagers, even a few militias are gonna be helpful here as well. So therefore, this is gonna be resulting into yet again a bit of a stop to the economy for like 40 seconds, maybe a bit more, and he certainly needs a few heroes. Unfortunately, that is not exactly what's gonna be coming in, as he is also losing houses. That's why he's still not getting the villager in there. He's actually missing one house so far. And that's the reason why he's not getting anything extra, but the gate is already down, and it's gonna be a bit of an attempt at raiding yet again in the middle, even killing a few random llamas, as the front TC right about now is gonna be attempted to be taken from Count, or rather from Count, by Shelty. And that was in his power before, wasn't it? I kinda thinking that it was, that this was only a secondary one. But still, he's keeping himself at 2, and therefore Count is right now trying to do a bit of a disruption in the back of the enemy army, and it seems to be working rather nice, as he still does have a bit of a chance how to take the front TC for himself. He's a dead satyr in there, but he's gonna be facing plenty of Murmillos from Domantas, who is well prepared for him, as another Tartarian gate is gonna be yet again coming on Matreiuss. Yeah, well, definitely good idea. Putting both of them at him, as he's gonna be yet again stopping the economy, and that's gonna be right now a mountain for about a minute and a half at least. And it's very well played and quite nicely thought through, as finally some kind of front TC is gonna be taken by red player, gonna be heading into 3 TCs himself, as blue is still raiding all the way through back, at least discovering where the gold miners are for the red player, but that's so far pretty much it, as the TC has been finished in the middle. And Artemis is coming for Matreiuss though. Now that is definitely quite a strong argument for continuing in the game and maybe even winning it altogether if he's gonna be using it properly. Champion Infantry, Copper Mail, Masons, Fortified TC, so Domantas getting really well off, as he's gonna be having quite a solid trading into the woodies at the backside. Fortunately, it seems like that everybody's just basically hitting each of their own villages, so therefore there's gonna be just a few dudes dying. But still, about like 17 villages not getting anything at all for quite a long time yet again, which is much more important than anything else at this stage. And well, all the way to the top, there's gonna be a bit of a scouting of the TC from Domantas, but Matreiuss, is he gonna be there in time? He's already heading in with the lions and with the hippicons. Okay, he was having 2 dudes somewhere randomly all the way to the top, and he apparently doesn't want to lose them, so he's not gonna be even disrupting it. So I whacked a few times into the TC to stop it. Oh well, it's actually gonna be working in the end. Gonna be in time, so very well played by Matreiuss. As well, I was just kinda thinking about the earthquake as well, and I'm thinking that this is an excellent target. This is a really excellent target for all of it. Basically, the whole build-up for Shelty in the front, TC is gonna be gone as well. So once right about now, blue is gonna be prepared for some kind of counter-assault. And that kind of combination will be really problematic for Shelty, and really something that he won't be able to deal with. But apparently, in the end, earthquake is gonna be coming into the base of Domantas, who's gonna be, well, not losing the TC. You can see there were plenty of other buildings eating the damage. So he's gonna be still alive with 500, and he's not gonna be able to destroy it, or... No, yeah, he won't. Probably should have casted a bit more into the front, so that he destroys the palace and the TC instead of a few more random rebuildings at the back, and yeah, well, this Influence are gonna be certainly quite a huge help to all his efforts as Chimera is coming forward. TC has been disrupted and destroyed, but the front TC for matreiuss is finished, so therefore he's gonna be getting into quite a good moment and place in the game. So far, the economy, how's it looking with the upgrades? Well, only pickaxe, at least Divine Blood, but otherwise the upgrades are not exactly all that stellar, considering we are at 90 minutes of game time, as the opponent with champion infantry already is gonna be having not anything all that great either. Yeah, it's also be maybe expecting slightly more, but they kinda went all in into early aggression, so yeah, it's kinda alright, all things considered, if it's gonna be all across the board. So double copper, already prepared for the red player. For the opponent, it's so far going to be only copper mail, that we have seen a whole lot before as well. And all the way to the bottom, that's right now gonna be right proper spam for back in action. And unfortunately, Count for Count, even though he's at 3 TCs, he doesn't seem to be exactly ready for that. Bronze shields, copper weapons, or rather copper mail. For Arkai, and for the Teal army, we so far don't see any upgrades whatsoever. And well, this is a pretty good time for the flame weapons, because the opponent doesn't have any kind of even armor, and not even talking about the attack in there. So this is gonna be probably resulting into a bit of a massacre with all the special attack, and you can see even a few chaos and confused units gonna be shooting at absolutely everything that is gonna be walking around. And well, unfortunately this chaos did not work all that well on the mountain giant. Now well, he's gonna be right now lured next to the palace, and this is basically as if Shelty was, or rather as if Count von Count was still controlling it. So right now he needs to be leaving it there. Unfortunately, he is gonna be not having all that much of a presence of mind, and the ADHD is gonna be meaning that he's gonna be attacking normal units instead of continuing with the building, which would have been a whole lot more useful for him. Unfortunately, he doesn't have all that many ranged units, so he cannot like attempt to, for example, snipe the unit and hope that he's gonna be switching into the building yet again. Unfortunately, not there. Unfortunately, not there. But so far, it seems like actually the flame weapons did exactly their job. They basically saved Count von Count in the situation to allow him also to be building a hill fort and defend a bit longer. And that, of course, is resulting into Green having a bit more of a chance how to reach Domantas in there. He's right now gonna be down to only 2 TCs, and the third TC seems to be fairly untenable at this point, especially since he's being right now protected by the fortress and a few extra military buildings prepared with the Hypaspis from the matreiuss. Well, rather from matreiuss without the article in there. And I'm gonna be getting another archer range all the way to the back. So, no, well, I'm just kind of looking at the composition of the army that he could be certainly using in continuation of the Hippicons. He's not exactly having all that many of them yet. Well, yet anymore, rather. So, because he lost those, there were 2 stables here. He's right now at 1, which is not producing. So he's completely switching off from horses. This is fairly interesting, because he invested tons of money on them and into them, as that's quite a nice trading all the way through back. And apparently even Bear is gonna be helping. Whoa, this is really bad though. Oh, come on. Domantas absolutely unaware this is going on here. Absolutely unaware. That was even like complete random and automatic reaction onto the bear. Yeah, well, can I guess goodbye, Domantas? Because that's a whole gold gathering completely gone at this point. It was like 7 citizens. This one is probably gonna be escaping to safety, maybe at least into the tower or into the manor of the teammate, but still. Holy damn, that was really a huge issue at this point for his overall gameplay, as Green, or rather Green, Blue is right now pushing forward. Green is gonna be pushing forward as well, inevitably, as Blue's economical and army upgrades are looking like what? Army is right now at bronze and double copper. His opponent is probably getting something finally. Apparently not. Only heavy archers, that's a bit of an upgrade that he had. And that's of course the reason why right about now Count is still in the game. Whereas to the top, there's gonna be another advantage waiting for matreiuss, who is right now at heavy Hypaspis, having the whole baseline of upgrades. And his opponent, even though he does have champion fanatics, and he's basically even at double bronze and iron, so very well played by Domantas. That brutality that happened on the villages at the bottom is gonna be significantly costing him. Absolutely certain about that. No! Exclamation mark. Yeah, you can see 47 gold. It's absolutely screwed on the gold mines at this point. He's going all the way to the top, which is just a question of time before it's gonna be found out by matreiuss. And he's having like 3 gold miners or something like that. I don't think he's having anything else elsewhere. Yep. He's having literally 3 gold miners at this point. So that should be making it a whole lot easier for matreiuss, even with the extra population limit that he's already having. And though he's at least having a bit of a problem producing enough. He's right now only 110 and 160 population limit for him. He's apparently also out of gold at this point, so maybe he was having a bit of a problem. Oh well, the efficiency is not exactly there. It certainly isn't. No, well, this is the reason. He's having only pickaxe. Now, nice flat control, but otherwise only hand axe and pickaxe. So this is the reason why he, of course, doesn't have the gold right about now for his whole economy at 24 minutes. As all the way to the right and to the bottom a bit, Shelty is losing the all-important palace, and that's gonna be meaning that the piggies are gonna be getting ever closer to right now the TC, and that means the trouble is becoming quite real for back in action, because the gold is also gonna be running out quite significantly, as quite a solid gathering all the way to the bottom. I'm gathering like a boss, this one. Walking weirdly on top of the hill. That almost seems like some kind of post-shockwave, but how did that work? Because there isn't any kind of shockwave from the opponents. Yeah, well. Not really certain what actually happened with this dude and dudess to make her this kind of a weird way, as hell is already through with Count von Count. He's gonna be right now pushing the opponent of this crucial resource, and even though there seems to be quite a lot of trade anyway, it doesn't seem like it's going to be exactly enough. Dragon coming all the way through back, potentially even on the gold mine yet again, but it seems he's gonna be much more interested in the villages and maybe even in trying to destroy a few llamas on the way, as green is inevitably pushing forward right now, and he's getting even with Polyphemus next to the fortified TC, and since it is, even though rather, it is nicely upgraded, even having iron weapons already that we have seen a bit before against the Helepoli, and the overall might of all those units. And it's gonna be right now Domantas at only 1 TC, and with the dragon from the blue player being quite close by as well, and ravaging right about now the countryside here. Well, gonna have to be careful still, not to be shot down all that easily. Well, blue is also inching forward into the teal base, and even though he's right now kinda like evading the TC, against he's basically letting his opponent gonna come into him. He's right now gonna be moving forward for a bit of a more disruption of the trade route, I'm thinking, and basically trying to get into the heart of the economy, and maybe a few idlers also are gonna be dying on the way. Yeah, definitely seems like something that could happen here. Okay, let's check if he's gonna be noticing. No, well, unfortunately he did not. He's gonna be just continuing with... Oh, he did. He did in the end. He did notice it, and he's gonna be just basically checking in there, as right now resigns are already gonna be coming in from Shelty and Domantas, as very well played game. They started quite strongly, Shelty and Domantas, on their opponents, but then it kinda started falling apart when they weren't able to kill all that many villages from the opponents and basically disrupt them enough. And even through the double Tartarian gate or Matreiuss was certainly the most influential player in the game, and the one who has pretty much decided how this is going to be going. And then, yeah, well, the memorable moment with the bear and the villages fair, and a few horses on top of that. No, hard map. Kinda thinking it was alright for both, but matreiuss unfortunately misplayed with the villager at the very beginning, which forced him to switch strategy from centaurs into hippicons, it seemed. It was kinda unfortunate misplay in that, but he was able to recuperate, and in the end, they really won. Yep. That's really what they needed to do, because exactly that has been shown at the back. That was the battle where they did not coordinate properly. They were having the correct idea, attack at the same time, but unfortunately, timing wasn't there, and timing is crucial. So, yeah, next time they will have to try again. Let's head into the post game and see what kind of information is gonna be gleaned from this. Count von Count with a high score, even though definitely gonna have to repeat, matreiuss was the most influential player in the game. But Count von Count did quite a nice job, apparently, even in the economical upgrades. Yeah, well, if matreiuss had, for example, shaft mine or bowsaw or something like that, then maybe he could have been even like the winner. But with that hamstrung economy, it was still rather impressive that with that kind of economy, he was able to overcome even the Atlanteans in there. You can see the economy fairly similar to the Domantas. And still, yeah, well, he was able to do a nice job in there. And especially the prevention of the front TC at the nick of time. It was really like 5 seconds before being finished. That was also crucial timing and another important place in the game. Because if that was finished, then, well, the Domantas would be having a whole lot easier game for himself. Domantas didn't exactly kill all that many units. You can see he's having passive ratio in there. There's gonna be probably also a few Tartarian Gate deaths in there as he was trying to defend it, but still. Oh, that is actually, I'm looking at the other player. matreiuss is having a very good ratio. It's the opposite way. Domantas is having a bad ratio. Sorry. Domantas having a nice one in the end. And with Count von Count having even better one, like 50 plus. Well played. Stronger units this time prevailed. Yeah, 5-minute advance, that was kinda brave on a map like this, against the gods that they were playing against. Certainly was. Yeah, and the civilian drop all the way at the back for Domantas. That definitely hurt. But to be honest, at that point he was already really falling to Matreiuss, and even if he didn't lose that, it didn't seem all that optimistic. Like fighting 2TC Atlantean versus 4TC Greek in the late game. Now the chances are not exactly like, they are not impossible. There are a few tricks that Atlantean can do, but overall the chances are not exactly like the hugest, let's say. If the Greek plays this properly. And he kind of did. Yeah, you can see they were having quite a nice power spikes there. Domantas and back in action RTS-Shelty having huge army. At about here, you can see they were having like 65 against about, I don't know, 35. They're basically having double of the army, Domantas, or rather Domantas' team with Shelty. And they unfortunately weren't able to combine it, exactly as they said a bit earlier, and as we noticed as well. And if they did, that would just be complete utter destruction of the enemies. There was a bit of a drop right next to the curse and the heroic ages, and well, the bottom team was able to survive long enough to get into their own power spikes and punish their opponents for that. That's something that can certainly happen. GG.